Human behavior flows from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. Every heart sings a song, incomplete, until another heart whispers back. Those who wish to sing always find a song. At the touch of a lover, everyone becomes a poet. Thinking, the talking of the soul with itself. The learning and knowledge that we have is at the most but little compared with that of which we are ignorant. Do not train a child to learn by force or harshness, but direct them to it by what amuses their minds, so that you may be better able to discover with accuracy the peculiar bent of the genius of each. To love rightly is to love what is orderly and beautiful, in an educated and disciplined way. A good decision is based on knowledge, and not on numbers. A house that has a library in it has a soul. Wealth and poverty, one is the parent of luxury and indolence, and the other of meanness and viciousness, and both of discontent. The first and the best victory is to conquer self. Opinion is the medium between knowledge and ignorance. The most important part of education is proper training in the nursery. You can discover more about a person in an hour of play than in a year of conversation. Knowledge without justice ought to be called cunning rather than wisdom. Music is a moral law. It gives soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and charm and gaiety to life, and to everything. Excellence is not a gift, but a skill that takes practice. We do not act rightly because we are excellent. In fact, we achieve excellence by acting rightly. There is no harm in repeating a good thing. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. There will be no end to the troubles of states, or of humanity itself, till philosophers become kings in this world, or till those we now call kings and rulers really and truly become philosophers, and political power and philosophy thus come into the same hands. The excessive increase in anything causes a reaction in the opposite direction. Love is the joy of the good, the wonder of the wise, the amazement of the gods. Our object in the construction of the state is the greatest happiness of the whole, and not that of any one class. Life must be lived as play. Astronomy compels the soul to look upwards, and leads us from this world to another. And what, Socrates, is the food of the soul? Surely, I said, knowledge is the food of the soul. Never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow. As the builders say, the larger stones do not lie well without the lesser. Good actions give strength to ourselves, and inspire good actions in others. One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. The beginning is the most important part of the work. A state arises, as I conceive, out of the needs of mankind. No one is self-sufficing, but all of us have many wants. Wonder is the feeling of the philosopher, and philosophy begins in wonder. Beauty of style and harmony, and grace and good rhythm, depend on simplicity. He who commits injustice is ever made more wretched than he who suffers it. Necessity, who is the mother of invention. If a man neglects education, he walks lame to the end of his life. Dictatorship naturally arises out of democracy, and the most aggravated form of tyranny and slavery, out of the most extreme liberty. The people always have some champion, whom they set over them, and nurse into greatness. This and no other is the root from which a tyrant springs. When he first appears, he is a protector. Democracy is a charming form of government, full of variety and disorder, and dispensing a sort of equality to equals, and unequal alike. States are as the men, they grow out of human characters. Any city, however small, is in fact divided into two, one the city of the poor, the other of the rich. These are at war with one another. Mankind will never see an end of trouble, until lovers of wisdom come to hold political power, or the holders of power become lovers of wisdom. An empty vessel makes the loudest sound, so they, that have the least wit, are the greatest babblers. Knowledge becomes evil, if the aim be not virtuous. The untrained mind keeps up a running commentary, labeling everything, judging everything. Best to ignore that commentary. Don't argue or resist, just ignore. Deprived of attention and interest, this voice gets quieter and quieter, and eventually just shuts up. Reality is created by the mind. We can change our reality by changing our mind. He who is only an athlete is too crude, too vulgar, too much a savage. He who is a scholar only is too soft, too effeminate. The ideal citizen is the scholar-athlete, the man of thought, and the man of action. Nothing in the affairs of men is worthy of great anxiety. He who is of a calm and happy nature will hardly feel the pressure of age. But to him who is of an opposite disposition, youth and age are equally a burden. Women and men have the same nature, in respect to the guardianship of the state, save insofar as the one is weaker, and the other is stronger. A man and a woman, who have a physician's mind, have the same nature. If women are expected to do the same work as men, we must teach them the same things. Which quote did you like the most? Share your opinion in the comments. Don't miss the chance to see the next video. Subscribe now.